right? For a group of younger kids you might be working with, that brave space can come from you. You can make that space as safe as you can. You can't control everybody else's environment, but you can lead and model that bravery and that brave space.
Absolutely. It's all about the intentionality that you are providing for that brave space. A safe space, you can't just be like, well, I'm going to create this space and I just hope that everyone shows up is going to be safe. No, the brave space is being very, very, very intentional and very thoughtful about the space that's created, making sure that everyone's input is included in that space.
So Charity, how do we create a brave space?
Creating a brave space, it sounds really simple, but it all boils down to norms, Bethany.
What's a norm? Is a norm an owl? There's an owl on here. What's that all about?
Norms, and we're all pretty grown in here. I mean, we're dealing with some older young youth in here, so I'm pretty sure y'all heard of norms. Maybe if not, norms are basically rules, standards, regulations that are set. Like when you go out in the soccer field, you go and play football. There's rules, there's standards, there's regulations. It's the same thing with norms, but it's a little bit different because when you go on the football field, you don't really have a say in what the rules and the norms are. When you get out there, it's already set. You're walking into that space. You can't touch the ball with your hands, right? You can't go outside the lines. You have to, there's offsides. There's all these different rules to the game. But with norms, everybody's voice is included. So everybody that is part of that space, part of that group, part of that team, get to come up with what those rules are, what those standards and all those norms are going to be, so that it is inclusive and it's all agreed upon from the beginning.
So here's what we're going to challenge you to do with us this morning. We're going to challenge you to experience all of this for yourselves with us right here, right now on Hopin. We're going to do this together, right? So we're going to experience, first up, norms. Now, before we do that, we'd like to get a gut check about what is going on with y'all. We'd like to know how you are feeling about what is coming next. Did that poll pop up?
I see it.
You see that poll?
I can see it.
All right. Can other folks see that poll? If you can see the poll, go ahead and respond to the poll. If not, feel free to go ahead and type in the chat. I am feeling a little bit anxious because I cannot see y'all. And normally when we do this workshop, we can see the people who are in here with us. I'm curious how other folks are feeling if you'll respond to that poll. Some folks are curious. That's great. Glad to see we got folks out there. All right. Nobody's excited yet. I hope you'll be excited by the time we get through this. But let's move on. So let's create our norms. Charity, you have some suggestions of norms?
Yeah, I have a few suggestions. And yeah, as y'all are filling out that poll, I want to try to do this right now because we're about to get into an activity. And like Bethany says, normally when we do this workshop, we're in person. So it's a little bit tailored to a situation like this where we're going to have to do a lot of it in the chat box. So I hope that everyone that's in here can try to be in the chat box for the next 10 minutes of this workshop. But right now, before we even get into that really fun activity that we have coming up, we're going to create norms right now in this space. And I have a few suggestions that I can think of, but I would love for more people in the chat to just go ahead and drop what you think could be norms in this session right now. Because we want to make sure that before we get into our workshop, before we get into this next activity, that all of us agree upon these norms and feel that we are comfortable to bring our full selves into this. So I think one norm that I like, that I use a lot in all my workshops are respect everyone. And I like that norm because it covers a lot. And it's very vague, but if we can just break down what that means, to respect everyone, it means when somebody is talking, they should be the only one that's getting, I don't think we'll have that issue because we're on the chat box, but we want to make sure whoever has the mic or whoever has the attention, they're getting the full attention, and that we are making sure that we are supporting them and giving them a lot of love and a lot of praise. Another norm that I like to use is called 4 walls. And when I say 4 walls in my sessions, this means that whatever's said in here, whatever we talk about in this session stays in this session, so that people know that if they get vulnerable, if they share something that's very, very deep, something that's a very deep emotion that they pulled out of themselves, they can feel comfortable knowing that we're not going to go leave this session. I'm not going to be like, oh, Bethany said this in this workshop today. And oh, did you hear what Bethany said the other day? Or did you hear what Vanessa said? No, we're going to be able to keep all that stuff in this session so that we can make sure that Bethany feels as though she can trust her teammates and that all of her business is something that she can trust us with. All right, I see Vanessa in here. Okay, how about we commit to interact in the chat box? I like that. So let's even call that be present. I like that one. Be present. So yes, we want you to commit to using the chat box. We want you to be interactive and be a part of the session. The biggest way that this can be really impactful is that if y'all can participate. And I know it's a little weird because we can only chat, and this is an interactive workshop, but I promise you this is going to be a really, really awesome thing if y'all can just get your chatting things together and do what Vanessa's been doing. We're doing a great job, Vanessa. But yeah, I would really love that. I love that norm, to be present so that you're participating, but also being present by being engaged and listening to what others have to say. Any other norms that anyone else can think of? Just go ahead and drop it in the chat box. Respectful, 4 walls, be present. I can add another one, but I just want to see. I'll give y'all about 10 more seconds. If anyone else wants to add another norm that we could create here in this workshop before we jump into the next activity. Going once, going twice. All right, well, I'm going to challenge y'all. My last norm, I'm going to challenge y'all to be brave and vulnerable. Be brave and vulnerable. Be brave by doing something that you might not have ever done before. And be vulnerable. We want to share. We want to get to the core. That's the beautiful thing about this activity that we're going to do. The more that you dig deep, the more beautiful the outcome and the output would be. So be brave. Your fingers are just over your typing, your keyboard right now because you're like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm a little bit nervous right now. Go ahead and start typing. Be brave. Come and jump into this chat.
Sherry, I want to welcome. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, whether it's Fajer or Fayer, but really excited to have you join in. Acceptance of others.
Let's do it. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's about creating vulnerability, that acceptance, that present. I'm going to add that in just a moment.
Beautiful.
Acceptance of others. Beautiful.
Yes.
So we have these norms: respect everyone, accept others. 4 walls, what's shared in this session stays in this session. Be present, join us in the chat box. That's the way we can be present in this type of environment. And be brave and vulnerable. So what are we going to do with these norms, Charity?
So with these norms, y'all heard me earlier, right? I came in, did a poem, performed it. So there's 2 different things. This is spoken word, did a poem, the written form, poetry, and performed it, did a spoken word. So right now, what we're going to ask you to do is create a poem.
Today, with these key takeaways for how to create human connection on your teams, how you can actually do this, whether you're a team leader, whether you're a team player, whether you're someone who shows up in the fans on the sidelines, whether you're someone who works in the office for a team, you can do it. Number 1, strive for creating a space whatever space you have control over, which could literally just be the space around you, the environment you create for people when they're with you, that is reasonably safe. Remember, we can't guarantee 100% safe, but we should always strive to make it reasonably safe and always brave. And you create that brave space by modeling that bravery, by being vulnerable, by making that human connection. Number 2, norms matter a lot. You want to co-create the norms with your team, with your friends, with your colleagues. You want to stick classmates. You want to stick to the norms. And if they're not working for you, revisit them as a group. Norms don't have to be permanent. They can change by the situation, and that's okay. You just want to be intentional about them. And number 3, listening isn't enough. It's great to listen, but what we really want to do if we're creating a brave space is create an environment that encourages everyone to participate, everyone to bring their whole selves to the team and to be part of all those conversations. We have enjoyed being part of Team Generation Amazing with y'all today. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. We hope you had a little fun. We hope you learned a little something. We hope you might go home and write a little poetry. But thank you for the opportunity to be here. Charity, any final words?
No, thank y'all so much. Honestly, this was really awesome. This is the first time we've done this in this format, and it was really, really cool being able to connect with all of you from all over the world. And shout out to Generation Amazing for putting on this great event. It's much needed and super meaningful. So I hope that we see you sometime again in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to see your beautiful faces.
Have a great day, everybody.
Peace.